Greetings everybody and welcome to another replay analysis for Uchi Zingju. I have Deadly and Twee with me. Hello.
Hello.
I was an idiot and didn't actually ask Uchi what his rank was. I think Deadly, you say his rank was silver?
Yeah, silver 3, I believe he was in 2s.
Yes, and I think this is an unranked match that he's playing right here. But he sent 2 replays in for analysis, and we figure we could probably get them both done in the same episode here. If you would like a replay analysed, feel free to click on the link in the description, fill in the Google form and send a replay in, and we can do this for you as well. If you're on console, it's a little bit complicated. We'll talk to you about that if you are. But without further ado, let's get right into this. Deadly is watching from Uchi's perspective. Twee and I are both in fly view. Let's get into it. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. We have already watched both replays to get a quick idea of what we're doing here. Kickoff strategy is generally pretty simple, and Uchi just goes with the safer options most of the time. Good idea letting his teammate go out for the challenge there. Ball was rolling slowly towards him there, so he pulled out. Teammates following him a bit close. He had control. Took a while for Uchi to get back right there.
They're a bit close there again.
He pushes over, yeah, so at that point Noobs is already on the offense up the left hand side. Uchi, you probably could have left that for them. Good decision to pull back here while Noobs was going for the challenge.
Yep.
That was definitely Uchi's ball.
Yep.
Nice challenge.
Very nice.
A little risky, but nice challenge.
Another good
nice
challenge
to grab
there,
that
but
boost.
yep. Teammate is stuck in the opponent's goal. Good decision from Uchi there to push out quick.
Yeah.
Just don't let the teammates, the opposing team gain control of that.
That was an unfortunate challenge.
A little bit of a dangerous position there, but Uchi dealt with it well, hitting up against the backboard. Teammate pushes up a bit high. I want to look at this again. I'm going to go back and look at this.
I agree.
So I'm going all the way back to where it gets cleared from the enemy's goal. Comes around, Noobs, goes for the challenge, but it hits up against the corner. Uchi makes a good decision there for the backboard, but then turns out to get boost, and Noobs goes up for the ball. I think Noobs misreads Chico, whatever his name is. Doesn't realize that he's so close to the ball. In this situation, I will point out, I know it's not Uchi made this particular mistake, but when the ball is traveling away from you and to up the other end or even down towards your end, if you're on the wrong side of the ball, it's traveling away from you and there's someone on the other side coming towards it, they're always going to get to it first. Unless they are really far away, because the ball is moving fast towards them and they're moving fast towards the ball, whereas you actually have to catch up to the ball first. So in this situation, Noobs, I guess they either misread Seiko or think that they can get to it first.
And something else I would comment on here. After Uchi bounces off the backboard, either him or Noobs or both of them, possibly, just for the safety of it, because they were in a bad position to begin with, probably should have turned towards goal instead of towards the corner.
That's what
They're both
next point I was going to address. I feel like Uchi turns up. Sorry, he turns up the wall and to the right. Having hit that, I would have just reversed. It was easier to turn right and then I would have reversed straight into goal. Instead of trying to turn left and then ramping off the side of the goal. If you turned right here, Uchi, if you had turned up to the right like that, and then started to reverse so that you would have landed on your wheels right here, you would have been able to reverse a little bit back into here and being ready for a save. Obviously Noobs also should have turned at that point there that I just saw.
Yeah. I think
Noobs should have turned left.
Uchi had just slammed into the wall, so any movement he was going to make was not going to be necessarily the best. Like mostly once you do that, you're in recovery mode. You're just trying to get back on your wheels.
Yeah.
Noobs, having seen that, should not have gone for the ball at all. He should have counted Uchi as not able to do anything and should have just gone for defense.
Yes.
And
Seeing
with the
Uchi
recovery
do
on the
this-
wall, it's better to like recover towards the goal, but instead he
Oh,
actually does that for boost.
Yes.
Absolutely. No,
Yes.
I agree with that. But Noobs should still be considering Uchi as not in position to be doing much.
Yeah. As being in this position as noobs here, I would have right there, seeing that Uchi is going up against that wall, instead of coming straight down here and then turning out this way, it would have been best if noobs had come out to the left, or his left, the blue side's right, looped around to the outside of goal and then moved into this position right here. Would have given them the best chance of saving this goal. Instead, he turns right and goes to challenge the ball right underneath it, and Seiko gets there first and scores the goal.
And just to give a sort of bigger picture look at this, if we look right at about, I want to say 3:30. No. Yeah, about 3:30. You can see that everybody is on the everybody on the blue team is in left blue corner, facing away from goal. The whole center and right of the field is completely open, and orange has a very clear shot. The reason why we're giving these positioning tips is to avoid having everybody facing the wall and leaving everything open like this.
Yeah. So this is just a very much defensive and rotational misplay, mainly on Noobs' point of view, but there are things that Uchi you could have done to prevent this. For example, not turning so far away from goal in that one movement, despite the fact that it's most definitely the easier movement to make and the faster one to get back on the ground. But we'll move on from that. It's an unfortunate goal. Mainly good pressure from the other team, I think, is what caused that that misplay on their side. I'm going to pause at 3:27.
I am there.
So right here we have the kickoff
I'm
go
there.
out towards... I'm currently paused at 3:27. We have the kickoff go out towards the wall here, and Uchi, after kickoff, is still underneath it. I don't entirely disagree with going for this, Uchi. This is where communications, as in a voice, being in a voice channel together, actually able to hear people like that is really advantageous, because Noobs has boost here, or he has enough to get up to this ball. Would have been ideal in this particular scenario to have turned and gone for this boost and then gone back to defense while Noobs took this. But I don't entirely disagree with your decision here to go for that ball. Alright, I'm going to do a countdown on 3:27. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Ended up kind of going in your favor, even though it didn't go up the other team's end.
Then you got demoed.
Yeah,
Instant karma.
That was a nice clear.
that was a nice clear from the teammate. It almost ended badly, but didn't quite. That
That-
was a very unfortunate goal on the other team's part.
It was a very fortunate goal for blue.
Yes.
There was an opportunity to do a very clear shot towards their goal. It kind of went sideways, but then they hit in for you anyway.
Yes, yeah. So I'm at 3:06 whenever you guys are ready.
All right, I am there.
Yep.
So I believe... Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Uchi, you made a really smart decision to stay in goal there, rather than challenging, because you probably... I'm actually going to look at this from his perspective. So, oops. Noobs goes for boost. Okay, at this point, you don't actually know... You can't see Seiko's car at all, which means you don't know how he's landed, because he's directly behind the ball. You don't know if he's about to take control, and also your teammate is still right there. You do see the other team's car, but they are already moving up towards the ball as well. So you made a very smart decision to stay in goal, just in case Seiko gains control of that and pushes it out for the other, or pushes it out to his teammate, or even past you. It left you in a good position to end up clearing the ball that came down towards you.
I will say that you went a bit far back into goal.
Yes.
Probably wouldn't have had much time to get that ball necessarily if had shot out like a gun. Not that that was likely to happen necessarily on kickoff, but you don't generally want to be so far back in goal that your back wheels lift up.
Yeah, yeah. So as League of Rockets says, if I fear that if you had reversed any further into goal there, you would have fallen off the map. But I think it's slightly harsh. It is something you don't want to do generally, though, Uchi. If you going back that far into goal it gives you no. It's actually a disadvantage in every situation. There's no situation in which being that far back into goal is good. The furthest you should go back ever is the edge of the flat. So before it starts curving up, that's the absolute furthest you ever need to go, and that's only if you're trying to get up high into the top area of the goal to save an aerial that's coming in quick. Or even not quick, even slowly. You generally don't want to back further into goal than maybe halfway. It's something to work on. Alright, I will head back to fly mode, and I am at 303.
Give me about 5 seconds. Okay, I'm there.
Noobs' boost. Is it Noobs'? No, it's Death 10's boost. God, it's the pirate boost. I'm sitting here paused and it does it every 30 seconds. Oh god.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. This is good pressure here, Uchi pushing up that wall. It was a good pass, a little bit fast, but in reality your teammate should have been a little further out towards the opposite side of the field. In most situations I wouldn't recommend passing shallow though.
Not in twos.
Not in twos. Generally if you want to pass to a teammate, you want to try and lift it off the back wall so that it goes back out towards mid. Because that gets it away from the opponents and towards where your teammate should be.
So just there, about 224, I want to say. Well, I'm actually a little bit lost in the timestamp right now.
230.
But no, so about 227. Uchi probably should not have been going for that. They had complete control of the ball at the moment, and your corner, they're gonna send it right over your head, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But luckily, nobody was there to take that pass, but it did sail over your head.
Yeah. Roll on defense. If you go back to 237 after this point, go ahead.
237.
Yeah. Should have challenged it a little sooner.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Go back to. I can understand why he doesn't.
Yeah. It's just as soon as Death 10 makes that contact and it's going fast enough that he's not going to be able to catch up to it for a while, then
it's that same point.
Power clear.
It's that same point Crew made earlier. The ball coming towards you, like if you and the opponent are on opposite sides of the ball and you're about equally spaced, if the ball is moving towards you, you're going to get it sooner than them.
Yes.
It's a matter of accounting for both the speed and the distance of the ball.
Yep.
Yeah, so actually what I would have done in this particular case is, you see Destin hit it right there. This is the point I reckon you should have reacted, and you probably would have wanted to head. You turn right out here, head up this wall, and meet the ball at that point right there to hit it up over here and for a hard clear along the side wall. That's probably what you want to do there. At this point, Noobs
he may not even need to go up the wall.
He might not even.
Or we could hit it right at the corner.
Yeah.
And it was not ideal for Noobs to tip it into mid in front of your goal.
Absolutely
that was
not.
You
never want to pass across your own goal.
Not like that. Not soft like that either.
No, if it's rolling along the wall and going up over the goal, absolutely you might want to get someone going up the wall and hitting it hard across. But this is a pretty terrible situation that Noobs has ended up putting them. Yeah. Honestly, Noobs back here, when Death Tim made that challenge, Noobs should have spun around here and come back out to goal in a wide-ranging motion, so that you actually could have gone and challenged it here, while knowing that he was coming back around to here.
Arguably, Noobs should have stayed in goal after he landed that anyway. Uchi had gone for that. The two of them were the two oranges were heading towards it. It was going into your corner, which isn't even a very unsafe area. It would have been advantageous to force them to take a shot, take it out of their control, and then you can move it forward.
So Uchi, you made a good decision here. Once that ball went over your goal, you made a good decision to turn with it and then follow it, get the challenge in quick. Noobs unfortunately does follow you really closely out to the corner. It ends up getting recentered, and that ends up in that that play we were just talking about earlier, where you challenged it when you probably should have headed back to goal. All right, I'll meet you at 2.
Still with 3 as well, because it seems like ball chasing is still a huge thing, and Uchi doesn't do it in any of these replays that we've watched, but teammates have been.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm at 221. Whenever you guys are ready.
Yep.
I'm there.
3, 2, 1, go. Noobs passes over and across your own goal again.
Yeah. It was fast, and there wasn't much danger to it at that point, but it wasn't ideal either. No.
Right there, probably would have been best to slow the ball down a little bit, pop it up to yourself.
Good challenge, but best to kind of take your time with that. You had loads of time. Nice save.
Nice save.
Very good challenge right there. Probably could have moved up on that a bit quicker if you jumped and gone for the second touch whilst it was in the air. You would have gotten that away from the other team.
I probably would have let them take that ball after it was going into the corner like that.
Yeah.
You're not going to get an angle off of it.
You do move up a bit too close on the left there, so Noobs, I'm going to go back and look at this. Noobs is already on the left here, he's challenging.
But then I don't know what he does with it.
Yeah, so Noobs is already there, he's already up there. At this point right here, Uchi, I would have turned to the right. At 127 is where I am. I would have turned to the right, Uchi, and let Noobs challenge that. Because if you were right here, maybe facing that way, but in ball cam, if that ball goes in Noobs' favour, you can always turn left and move up for mid here. And if it doesn't, you can always loop round and you'll be right where you need to be in goal. But you do push up really hard on the left here while Noobs is right there as well. And this ends up in right there. You two are right next to each other, and that's you never want that to happen in doubles, ever.
So we sort of tentatively have this concept that we're kind of thinking through called crossing field, and I want to call this out as an instance of this. The idea is if someone's on the right and the ball is if someone's on the right, they don't normally want to cross to the left. However, because the other teammate is probably on the left and you're going to get stacked in a single line. It's not usually ideal. However, in this case, you're all the way back in defense. He's in the front and so he's basically keeping the ball upfield. In this case, it makes total sense for noobs to be crossing the field, keeping the pressure on that ball while you're still back.
Yeah.
And in this case, you should be staying mid or even.
And I think regardless of
right.
whether or not Noobs made a good play here, it's around 127. Yeah, it's right on 127 where I feel Uchi, you really want to have seen Noobs there. So for the most part, Uchi, we were talking about this off recording earlier. You have really, really good team awareness, but your opponent awareness is a little lacking. I mean, in this case, your actual team awareness falls out a bit, and you see Noobs here. I'm actually going to go into your player view, which is right there. So you're in ball cam. You see Noobs come across field here, and yet you still push up forward next to him. Even if what happens, which is that Noobs misses the shot he's going for, so you don't have to trust your teammate. I still would have pulled out to the right so that you didn't stack up on the left. And let Noobs have that challenge, because regardless of whether or not it's a good play, he's there, and once he's there, you don't want to be there as well. So Alright, I'll meet you at 120, 118.
Yep.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Good job waiting.
Yes. Okay, so right here, we watched this before. You made a good decision, Uchi, right here to go for this. Unfortunately, you hesitated slightly too long. So there are two options in this particular scenario. The first one is to do what you did, except to do it sooner. If you challenge this just slightly earlier and you try and hit that before the opponent hits that, it's going to clear it out roughly this way. It's going to bounce up to their end, or at least it's going to be a stall while your teammate gets back into goal. You just need to meet that around this point right here. So pretty much halfway between where the ball is on my screen right now and where Death Tin is. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, because that is actually a really difficult maneuver to make, where the ball is coming fast and hard off the back wall, and you're trying to meet it whilst also going in roughly the same direction as it. If you're not so comfortable in going for that at that particular moment, you actually see Death Tin. I'm going to go again to Uchi's player view here. You see Death Tin hit that right there, up against the back wall, and then you see him land sideways and relatively close to the back wall. And this is where having an opponent awareness is also really good. And that we've noticed that you haven't really had too much of an opponent awareness. You see him land sideways, he's close to the wall, he's not going to get a power hit on this no matter what happens. In fact, honestly, at this angle and this speed, I would usually... At that angle, I would often think it's going to go over him, but it is going fairly slow, so it drops down a little bit faster. If you had just stayed in goal and waited for the shot, there's not going to be a power shot off that from his angle at all. Just the way he landed, he's not getting anywhere close to a hard hit off that. You would have been able to just let the ball come to you, make a save out to the right hand corner, and then follow it up with probably a wall play. But as it is, you chose to go for the more risky play, which in some situations, in actually most situations, is a lot better of a play. Hesitated slightly too much and ended in a goal there for the old team.
For what it's worth, I know different people read different things differently. So just as another way to interpret this, you see Death Tin land and he loses all momentum. You can in some sense ignore the fact that he's sideways, although that's a really helpful indicator as well. But if that's not something you look for, you can also tell that he just loses all momentum. The only thing he can do is go aerial and try to tip it, which is exactly what happens.
He actually, if we look at it from a different perspective here, it's a little more difficult to see from Uchi's perspective, but if you're able to spot something like this, Death Tin has to brake really hard in order to stay behind the ball relative to the goal once he lands. He almost goes in front of the ball, and when he goes up for his aerial, he actually moves too far forward. So he has to point up and boost sideways in order to actually get to the ball there. There's no power hit coming out of that. So if you can work on being a bit more attentive of that kind of stuff, that's going to get you a very long way. I'll meet you at 104.
On my way.
Right as Uchi lands. Those purple FSLs though.
Okay, I'm there. Yeah, right? Those are some nice wheels.
They are some nice wheels.
Yep.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. So this is good. Noob's actually pushed up at the right time, managed to get the nice hard clear on that, and he scores instantly. That was an absolutely perfect round, mainly because it was only about 3 seconds long. It wasn't really much to make a mistake on that. I like that Noobs chooses to stay in goal there.
Yes.
Instead of challenging that. It's not necessarily correct, or not necessarily the best play in some situations, but it's a very safe play. And
then that happened.
considering it's in the corner there, yes. So I'm going to go back and look at this from Uchi's point of view, because you see this ball gets cleared across goal. Uchi actually does a really good job of not panicking and jumping straight up in the air. I guess he knows that Seiko is further away and that ball's not going to get instantly dunked. But this ball, it goes up the wall. We see Uchi reads Death Tin. He knows that he's about to pop it slightly. He sees this ball moving towards the wall, goes up, but he clearly misreads it. He thinks that the ball's traveling slightly faster. Ends up going underneath or around the ball on the wall and missing that. And this is the point. So right here, in this situation right here, considering what we know about noobs and silver rank or wherever you happen to be in unranked, I would personally, I would leave this to noobs. Ideal scenario that happens here, you have a good idea. Again, there are a lot of good ideas in this whole thing. They just not necessarily executed properly, or they're interfered with by something else. Good idea here to actually go up for this and hit it against backboard for a hard clear out towards the left-hand side of the field and away from the opposing team. However, you do leave it slightly too late, and the hesitation, it means that you and Noobs both go at the same time. At this point, I still would have, knowing what Noobs is like in this game, I would have left it to Noobs, just stayed on the ground, because when you're on the ground you have the most control. Stay on the ground, head around Noobs back to goal, and let Noobs go up for the shot. If Noobs clears it, it's going across to the left-hand side of the field. It's probably going to bounce off the side wall and come back in for a center to the other team, but at that point you're already in goal. You're probably in a position to challenge that and to hit it before the other team gets to it, especially considering both of the other team, if I move... Yeah, both of the other team are on the left-hand side of the field. Oh, sorry, on the right-hand side of the field. They're left. So everyone's bunched up in one spot here. If that ball gets cleared to the other side, it's going to give you loads of time to get to goal and then make a challenge, possibly, to clear that.
As is almost always the case, the problem, well, not always the case, but very commonly the case, the problem here was not either of you individually, but you both went up and collided with each other.
Yes.
So the ideal case would have been that Noobs didn't go for this. We know that Noobs isn't going to do that because that's what they do. That's what their style is. They're going for this. So ideally, though, they wouldn't have gone for it. They don't have a shot. They're gonna, like who said, it's gonna bounce off your wall. It's gonna come back towards your goal. That's not ideal. It works. It gets it away from them, but it's not ideal. Ideally, since you're in front of the ball, you're closer. You have a shot against backboard, and that's much harder for the other team to deal with because it's going to be coming back over their heads potentially. Perhaps not a strong shot over their heads, but still a lot harder to deal with.
Yeah. So the really difficult thing with this is making that decision to stay on the ground, considering Noobs' playstyle and the level at which you're playing Uchi. I would have just turned left and followed this corner around to get back in goal. However, you had that idea for the ideal play, went up for it, but you just left it slightly too late. And at that point, even if you realize, oh, this isn't going to be the best, because once you go up here, you're actually too far underneath it to get a good hard hit on that.
Right.
If you get a hard hit on that, the only way you can get a hard hit is to hit it up against this corner. It's just going to drop down in front of goal, and it's going to be a center for them. Because it's going to hit right on that corner, or it's even going to hit the ceiling. Even if at this point you're like, oh, I don't have the best hit on this, I didn't go up at the right time, and you try and you just let yourself go to get back to the ground, Noobs is also right underneath you at this point. So this is just a really unfortunate turn of events that once one of you has made that bad decision, whoever that happens to be, it's irreversible. And it ends up in a really bad situation for the both of you.
That's how the ball rolls.
It is indeed how the ball rolls. I will meet you at kickoff.
9:39.
Okay, I'm there.
I am also there. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, Uchi right there. I'm going to actually go back and look at this because I want Uchi to see this. Right here, so we did also consider this. If... This is a bit difficult. Say on your coming back here to get this boost, which is there, it's just on a replay glitch right now. You see that go out that way. I would have turned right here, gone up the wall, and met this ball on the wall. Or it is going very slowly, but I probably would have challenged by turning right here and moving up this way, instead of doing this loop that you did around. At this point, you do go up. Noobs has come back a little and is clearly challenging this ball, but you see that and you make a quick and good decision to move out to mid.
Yes.
And I like that. You realize that you made a mistake, or that Noobs has taken the challenge, and at that point you're like, okay, I'm gonna move out to mid, and you do it well enough that you're covering for a hard clear, or you can turn up this way and go for a pass if that's what ends up happening. Noobs ends up losing possession, and you're back in goal by the time anything's even half threatening. So that's a really good play. I really like that decision.
And generally, I'm pretty sympathetic to kickoffs where the person kicking off can control the ball after kickoff. You can see when Noobs lands after kickoff, he's perfectly in line with the ball. He's going towards the ball, able to pick it up if need be. I don't think necessarily Noobs is skilled enough to be able to dribble it well enough to take advantage of it, but I'm generally sympathetic to letting the person kicking off keep pressure.
Yes, and again, it's all about, especially in doubles, it's all about once someone has the play, it is their play. Whether or not it's the best play, once they've chosen the play, you don't want to go up there and interfere with it by being right next to them, because it's gonna... It increases the risk exponentially against you. As soon as that opponent hits the ball, it's going to sail over both of you, and neither of you are going to be in position to save it. So Uchi, you made a good decision here, regardless of Noob's skill or right to the play. You made a good decision to head out and wait for it to play out, basically.
Right. Wait for the play to play out. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. I will meet you at 33.
Okay.
Yep.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Noobs probably should have gone for that.
He pushes up
you
really
flip
hard
around.
on Uchi's ass right there,
Mm-hmm.
and that was absolutely not Uchi's fault.
Yeah, he missed his opportunity to go, and then he goes way late when Uchi has...
So, okay, I'm going back to 20 seconds roundabout. Right here, Uchi, I would have kept your momentum and gone up this wall to challenge that, because otherwise you really don't have any good way of getting to it, and you are the last line of defense in this situation. You need to clear that before it drops in front of goal, and Noobs is on his way back. Noobs takes a very good path to get back. He goes out wide and comes in from outside post, even though he cuts it a bit short at the end. So right here, probably a better decision to have made is keep that momentum right there, go up that wall. Even if you miss that ball, Noobs is going to get back, but you generally want to try and clear that as fast as you can before it drops down near your goal with the enemy right up its ass. I'm just going to watch this out to the rest of the game here.
And just to add on to that, by the way, what you did isn't technically, bad, but you over-rotated. You rotated out to point towards the opponent's goal. You want to stay pointing roughly towards ball, or even slightly to the right of it.
When there is an attacker, I just want you to get really quick. When there's an attacker behind the ball in this situation, which there isn't right here, at least not when you make your power slide. When there's an attacker behind a ball like that, you want to be pointed at the attacker, at the attacker's card. You don't want to be pointed at the ball or at any specific point in the field. You want to be pointed at the attacker, because the only way the ball is getting from them to the goal, or to you, is in that line that you are pointed at. So, anyway, continue on.
I mean, that's basically all I wanted to say.
Yeah, so you want to make sure you don't rotate too far. You're pointed all the way out here. It's kind of, at this point, I think that was caused by this corner here. Maybe not. No, he does. He's further out of the goal when he makes the power slide. I think this is a combination of two different potential outcomes. Uchi was headed for a more defensive play. Had you, Uchi, come out here and then made that kind of line that I just did with my camera, that would have been fine. As it is, coming in this line here, I would have just continued up this wall and gone for the ball.
Right.
But you kind of combined the two. Instead of going out to far post, making the power slide to point towards ball whilst inside the goal, you went near post and it ended up getting you stuck on that little corner there, and up against the wall with no room to move.
Yeah,
you had to make
in
a very
general,
vertical aerial.
Yeah, in general, being at near post is it's a difficult defensive play to make.
Yes.
Being at far post gives you a lot more options.
Yes.
Near post isn't always the wrong thing to do, but especially with a slow ball. But
Yes.
you generally want to default to thinking about getting to far post because then you can build up momentum.
Yeah.
Just playing cover more of the.
If I look at the goal like this, you generally want to be sitting around this area pointed out for a play like this, where that ball is coming in. Even possibly more like this. But you don't want to be all the way at either post. You want to be somewhere kind of further towards far post, but roughly around the middle. Other than that, I'm just going to watch the rest of this replay here. Good challenge right there. Doesn't end up mattering too much, but of course you're trying to get an equalizer goal to send it into overtime. I don't really see much else in that replay, and I think we have gone for 37 minutes, so we'll cut this video here and we will do another one for your second replay. Probably not immediately, but we'll do it at some point.
Yeah.
This Uchi was the one that you said wasn't the better of the two, and we understand that. And I know I told you to send me one that you did your absolute best on and that you feel was your peak ability. The second replay, the one that was called Better Crew, I believe it was more of that. When we looked at it, we saw more. You were doing very well, and there are a lot of teammate mistakes that ended up turning into your own mistakes. So there wasn't really much for us to talk about immediately. We figured we'd do this one first and then that one second. If we could have fit them into the same video, it would have been best. But we will still do that one, because we want to try and tell you things that you don't know yourself. But that is going to do it for this video. Thank you to anyone who's watched this far through. Thank you to Uchi for sending in the replay. Again, if you want to do this yourself, feel free to click the link in the description that takes you to the Google form. You can fill that in, send us a replay, and we will do an analysis for you just like this. Thank you, Deadly and Twee.
Not a problem.
And we will see you guys next time. Take it easy.